Center. All asylum seekers coming into New York City each day will come through that same doorway there.
And how many people have you processed so far since it began in 2021?
At the New York City Arrival Center here, we've registered more than 70,000 asylum seekers since we opened this site in May of this past year.
It doesn't seem that busy today. Is this what it normally looks like, or do you usually have a lot more people sitting in that waiting room?
Yeah, the Arrival Center gets busier as the day goes on.
The Roosevelt Hotel has become a symbol, and depending on who you talk to, it's debatable whether it's a hopeful symbol. Outside, mopeds and motorcycles line the sidewalk, the unspoken side hustle of working food deliveries while awaiting shelter. Dr. Ted Long is helping with the processing of migrants, and he gave me a rare tour inside the hotel. So how often, when you give these migrants a choice to go to somewhere else, do they take you up on that offer?
1 out of every 4 that enters that front door will leave within 24 hours because with our help, we've enabled them to complete their journey, whether that's finding and staying with friends and family in New York City or finding and staying with friends and family in another city across the country. We'll help them to get there. So this is our cafeteria. We had this initial issue of how do we create a meal that would be what somebody would want if you're coming from Venezuela, Senegal, or the Ukraine.
That's what we've heard. Sometimes they don't like the food that you're serving because they're not accustomed to it.
Exactly. So we did a survey of everybody. Everybody disliked the same meal and the most popular meal.
Which was that? What's the least liked? The least liked and the most liked.
The least liked was roast beef. Nobody likes roast beef. And the most liked genre of food?
Pizza.
Italian food. Very good.
That's perfect.
We're in. Manuel Castro, the commissioner of the city's immigrant affairs, is trying to acclimate the migrants, but at the same time, he's frustrated too. Do you see it getting any quieter? Are people dissipating? Are they still coming to our city?
Look, we've said this time and time again, this is not sustainable. We had to do this because it's an emergency. I mean, a lot of people are coming in that have no idea what's going on. They were just giving a bus ticket to come here or a plane ticket to come here, and then they don't know where else to go.
You talk about that you came here as a young child, your family migrated here. What was the difference from your family's migration to how these families are being treated right now?
When I came here with my family, we didn't get much support.
You got probably nothing.
We got nothing.
Yeah.
We came here to stay with an aunt that was already living in New York, and we struggled through those many years at the beginning to find work, find housing, etc. I mean, it's hard to settle here as an immigrant, but once you get over those initial challenges, it's beautiful. It's great to be in the city, and this is why so many people keep coming.
And poll after poll finds New Yorkers angry at the federal government and their lack of help in fixing this crisis. Mayor Adams has gone to D.C. more than 10 times, pleading for help with what could be a $12 billion cost over the next 3 years. Right now, New York City is on its own, running out of money and out of room.
We're getting close to anywhere from 2,500 to peaking at 4,000 a week.
What happens when there's no more room? I mean, we're almost at capacity now, right?
No, we're there. We're there. We're not just saying we're out of room as a soundbite. We're out of room, literally. People are going to be eventually sleeping on the streets.
Okay, what would it take for you to close the front door?
I don't have the authorization to tell people they can't come into New York
Why
City.
not?
It's against the law. It's against the law.
But everybody keeps talking about sanctuary city, that we're not using it the way that it was originally intended.
And I agree. We cannot by law tell someone if they come into the city, you can't come into the city. We can't even turn them over to ICE.
I know, we see that. There are crimes that are going on in the city that are migrant related, and there's no talk about that at all. Why not? Why can't the NYPD notify ICE?
The law states that we cannot notify ICE. I cannot break the law and enforce the law.
So what I think I'm confused about is, you know, migrants have come to our city for years and years, decades, but they were not given a hotel room. They were not given food, clothing, cell phones, health insurance. Stop it. Why can't you stop it?
We have never witnessed this level of migration in this hemisphere. Europe was dealing with this. But with the destabilization of Venezuela, we've never witnessed before 7.5 million people in this hemisphere. So we are being inundated. And we have now moved into another phase of saying all of those services that you're talking about, that we're down to food, shelter, clothing. That's it. Because this is a national problem. It's unfair for local municipalities and cities to handle this problem.
But the president says the border is secure. Is it?
Well, I don't know the definition of what they're using as secure. You know,
Would you say it was secure?
I think too many people are coming through various pathways and cavities in our border, and we have to be extremely careful because not everyone that's coming is pursuing the American dream.
Yeah, we've been hearing that. Yeah. So this is a larger investigation on immigration that I'm working on for Fox Nation. It will be on Fox Nation in the next few weeks.
What did you think when you walked into the Roosevelt? Because I mean, we've asked so many reporters, like, "Hey, can we get inside?"
Right. It was very organized once you got inside, and you know, we were talking about it. How like when you have guests over, you clean up your house before the guests arrive. I didn't know whether they cleaned up the house before we got there, or whether like we hit a slow period when we walked inside. Mm-hmm. But it was very organized, and let's face it, a lot of people keep coming there from every which way now.
And then you see the mayor trying to implement some rules on when the buses can come in and out, but they figured out a way around it.
It's